Welcome to the HabitStack podcast, where we talk to fellow founders who are in the thick of things as they execute their plans to grow their business. Because stories about past successes are interesting, but hearing from people who are in the middle of the battle right now, that's invaluable. I'm Scott Ward, founder of HabitStack, and today I have the privilege to be speaking with Himanshi Raj, who is the founder of Growth Gurus. We're going to hear all about what Growth Gurus does and some of the leadership lessons learned over time that Himanshi has amassed. Himanshi, I'm glad that you're on the show with me today. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
I want to hear about Growth Gurus and all the things that you're up to. But first, what are you learning these days? What are you reading about? What are you listening to? What's on the educational front for you right now?
I think the most interesting topic that we have right now in the North American space, and that directly affects my business, is the dear president of the neighboring country that we have. So
Yeah.
I'm keeping myself up to date on all the tariff discussions that are happening, and just politically the things that are happening between Canada and US. Because being a founder of an e-commerce agency, I think that directly impacts how my business gets affected, or people that I'm working with get affected. And also I feel, I mean, it has a major role to play because, people look up to me to kind of be in the know of everything that's
What should we
happening.
do? What should we do? Yeah, what's going to happen?
Yeah. So anything he's doing, I think I am currently obsessed with him right now, and making sure that I'm staying in the know of every word that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, that's a big job. There's a lot of words that come out of the mouth. And so, just to clarify, you're in Canada. That's why you said the neighboring country.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Am I. I'm on the in Vancouver, and you're in Toronto, I think, but or nearby it, right?
Yes, in Toronto.
Yeah. So our listeners are in the States, many of them. So I'm curious about what impact. I mean, because most people that I talk to are selling digital services. I mean, sorry,
Mhm.
digital products, software, or services. And so
Right.
we haven't had a lot of tariff talk actually, but your clients are selling physical goods. And so this is
Yeah.
going to be interesting actually. Have you had some clients get hit with this? Is this something that's actively happening, or is it more that you're worried about it, or your clients are worried about it?
No, I think the e-commerce industry has been booming, especially after COVID. We have seen such a huge spike in people diverting from a 9 to 5 to actually becoming entrepreneurs and selling on Amazon. And people are taking this very seriously. In fact, I think 40 to 50% of the clientele that I have are newly launched clients that haven't really ever been an e-commerce brand, but then, they're looking to explore, they want to invest, and they want to start something that is long-term sustainable and keeps growing, right? I mean, there's always a demand for consumer goods,
Yeah.
right? It's not dying, and Amazon is only giving you the convenience, or for that matter, even Walmart and TikTok, that's, shaping up pretty well now. I feel they're giving a lot of edge to the customers, and also the convenience to, just buy products from the convenience of your home. I think that is something that has increasingly been popular over the years. It has definitely taken a backseat this year, I would say. Overall, obviously, because of the entire trade situation around the world has definitely put a lot of the brands that I work with on the backseat in terms of getting goods from outside of North
Yeah.
America. But even though, I mean, I feel that, even though you spike up the prices because of all the tariffs and everything, it's still not really putting a lot of impact on the purchasing capacity of the people,
It's not
right?
so much that people aren't ordering. I mean, I don't think, I mean, we still just get it. We get as, I don't know. I don't think it's really changed our buying habits. It's annoying and it feels like it's worrisome. But yeah, I agree. For our family, I don't think we've really changed that much
Yeah.
other than maybe yeah, anyway. So, okay. So you do, I'm going to go back. You said something in passing about TikTok.
Mhm.
Is what are you talking about there? They're starting
So
to there's e-commerce built into TikTok now?
yes, there is TikTok shop, right? So you can actually sell products by just creating content about the product. So you
Right.
basically TikTok used to be a scrolling platform, right? Where you can just look at a lot of videos
Yeah, yeah.
and do some sort of time pass. But then it's becoming more and more business friendly now because
Mhm.
people in those videos now also run a lot of ads, right? There's a lot of content creators talking about different products, and you also have links to those products that you can actually go and buy from a TikTok shop. So
Right.
the TikTok platform is different from the business platform, which is called the TikTok shop,
Right.
where you can actually list your products, talk about it, have content creators create videos about your product, and actually sell. So that is really booming. It's very popular with the Gen Zs. So and obviously the other generations, but the older generations, I feel, still prefer going the traditional ways. They like Walmart. They have a trust value with Walmart, and also Amazon, because Amazon is overall, in terms of the product catalog that they offer, they're very friendly. And also in terms of the logistical supports that Amazon gives, nobody can really beat Amazon still. And I mean, they have been the market leader for a while now. So I feel these three markets are doing really well right now. Amazon has the habit of adapting to changes very quickly. They bring about new things, new features pretty often. So that is very good to see. Um,
What's an example? So actually, just let's say like one step back. So Growth Gurus is an agency that helps people sell more on these various platforms.
Yeah, so we help build and scale e-commerce brands, right? It could be on any market that I mentioned. And we're not just a launch agency. I would say that we also help brands grow sustainably. So somebody that has been on Amazon for a while, but is looking at a first perspective or is willing to kind of bring in another team that becomes an extension of their existing team and helps them out,
Mhm.
just with strategies, building their sales funnel, launching them in different markets. We have the knowledge, we have the expertise to kind of help them out overall. So we do everything from listing creation to PPC to any kind of services that anybody requires to run and be a successful business on these platforms.
So the what do you think when somebody says, you know what, I'm gonna start being an Amazon seller? What are some of the classic misunderstandings or classic gaps in knowledge that you find yourself, repeatedly helping people to understand? It doesn't work this way. Actually, it works that way.
Yeah, so I get that a lot actually. I would say at least 5 to 10 times a month, I get people that have misunderstood Amazon because what they see is the brighter picture, right? Like if you're searching for a product, you look at, oh, this product is selling 1,000 units a month, 2,000 units a month, but you don't see the struggle that goes behind into getting to that point, right? So they feel the moment they start, in about 6 months, they're going to reach that point, and with minimal amount of investment, and everything is going to be fine. So the biggest misconception that people have about Amazon or any other marketplace is the fact that they think that they can make a profit and also generate additional income and make this their their number one job in about 6 months time,
Well,
right? So
I thought that's what the gurus told me though, that basically I just
no.
have to source stuff from overseas, put my logo on it, put it on Amazon, and I'm going to retire. That's but this is probably what you're up against a little bit, right? Is that
Yes.
there is, there's always this the educate the people selling this idea.
Yeah. That's what the general perception is, honestly. And I mean, it's not wrong for a layman to just feel that, you know what, I will launch on Amazon today. I got one sign that had the worst comparison ever. They were comparing buying a physical store to launching on Amazon, or buying property to, just how what the kind of return on investment you get when you buy a property versus opening an Amazon store. And I was like, that's the worst comparison I have ever seen, because these are two very different things. And the property is only going to grow at a certain rate, looking at the market, looking at the neighborhood. And there's a lot of different factors that affect the rate of the property. And similarly, on Amazon, something that is peaking in demand today, we have to assess whether this is a product that you want to launch or not. Like if you're coming to me to launch something, I will find you a product that is probably not seasonal. It it does not. It's not like it's at the end of its demand and it's going to only drop from there. So I have to find something that is growing in demand and has sort of a 5-year runway, and would grow well, for the next 5 years or
Wait,
so.
wait. So you help people, you help people figure out what products they
Oh
should.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
So
interesting.
there's a few different models on Amazon, right? Like on every platform, people want to do like if you want to make a faster income, people go for arbitrage. It's not any e-commerce platform's favorite. So in terms of Walmart, Amazon, they do not like arbitrage models because that means that you're just buying some branded goods and selling it through your own account, right? So it could be any brand, it could be any of the big brands that you know already know of, right?
Right. So I
But
what is it? Like I buy a shipping container of something from Alibaba and then I put it on
it
Amazon.
has to be original. So for those products, you have to reach out to manufacturers or distributors from where it originates. For example, if I want to sell a Colgate today, I have to find a legitimate source where I want that product from, right? And the brand or the distributor should give me a letter of, say, a
I see.
declaration that they're allowed to kind of sell this product. So that is one way when people make, but that's not sustainable, I feel, because you're selling something today. The roles are in control of the actual brand owner. So if Colgate, for example, decides to block me out today, and I have tons of stock sitting with me, I have no place to go to sell that stock. But if I build my own brand, if I start a private label, it's different because now I am the owner of this brand. I control the product, I control the logistics, I control the manufacturing. So whatever I want to do with this product is in my control. The only difference here is that this takes longer to build, but it is sustainable. It has more longevity compared to being just an arbitrage or a wholesale model.
Yeah, yeah. So Himanshi, have you seen so one of the things that like have you seen people successfully switch their manufacturing from overseas to being in the States or being in North America?
No, that cannot
No,
happen.
yeah, this is
Yeah. I don't think Canada or US have the infrastructure to support, or above it all, the pricing. You
right.
can manufacture very good premium quality products in China for far less than what you have to go through in US. I have a lot of US manufacturers that I work with, Canadian manufacturers that I work with, even for the tiniest of things. There's such a struggle in North America to even source products. Sometimes you cannot fulfill your orders because one of the raw materials is not being supplied from a third party, right? So my manufacturer cannot manufacture my product because
Right.
a certain raw material is not available to him, which is not the case with China. China has multiple sources. They
Yeah.
have the amount of manufacturing they deal with, the professionalism they have. I feel no other country can beat that, at least as of now.
It's not the kind of thing that's going to change very fast. I've,
Yeah. And
you
I
know,
don't think it will ever because everybody wants to make a profit, right? Even the big companies, if you're not making profit on a product that you sell and your cost of goods is higher, you have less room for marketing. You have less room to play around with your product and place it in different markets.
yeah.
You cannot do so many things if your cost of goods is high. So that needs to be at the minimal. And that can only be if you're manufacturing overseas. And by overseas, I mean China mainly. I've tried
Ma-
other countries, it
yeah,
doesn't work like that.
yeah. Himashi, can you so you kind of like elbows deep in Amazon all the time, or in
Mhm.
other platforms as well. And I use Amazon as a consumer. Are there any um, what is it about Amazon that the most people don't understand? Like, what are the dirty secrets about how Amazon actually works?
I think it's not a dirty secret anymore.
Okay,
Most people would already know about these, but I think the hidden cost that Amazon has, that in kind of affects your bottom line directly, right? So it looks good on paper when you tell, especially the new launch guys, people that have been selling on Amazon for a while understand that very well. But somebody that's launching new, when I actually give them the breakdown of what what your cost of goods look like, what is Amazon going to take away from you, and what your margin looks like, right? So I give them a profit margin analysis for them to start with and understand that this is your bottom line, right? So
Right.
after everything we do, this is how much you make. That is very shocking for people because they're expecting 80, 90% in ROI, which is just not possible. There's so many costs attached to it. And they're like, you know what, even after investing so much, this is all I make, right? This is my profit. It's a very lean margin. So different products have different margins, but then mostly I feel people are very shocked to see a thin margin at the end of calculating all the costs. But Amazon is because, there's such a market giant and people want to be on Amazon because, I mean, they do the biggest job for you. They bring the traffic to you,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to do anything to worry about traffic. People come to Amazon because they trust Amazon. They trust the process they have to bring on every product, right? But there's a cost attached to it, right? And that cost can go up or go down. It mainly goes up most of the times. So it could go
Right.
up at any time, and that's Amazon's decision, really. So you cannot control that, and that's how Amazon sort of plays you, I feel sometimes.
Hmm. How does it, let's say that somebody's selling on Amazon or thinking about it. What considerations do you have them walk through before they decide to expand to a different platform? Like, let's say, should I go on TikTok? Like, how do they answer that question? And who would you say, no, don't? That's not going to work.
Depends on the product because, like I said, the TikTok platform really is a Gen Z platform mostly. Anybody um born before the Gen Zs do not really prefer TikTok as much. So based on what kind of audience you have on TikTok, you have to understand what product you sell. I cannot sell a lab instrument to a Gen Z, if they're not looking for it. And that's not the platform where people will be going to find a lab instrument, right? So I have to find the right platform for it. Like, for example, Walmart is a very good platform when it comes to any sort of consumer goods, any home related products. Whereas Amazon, I would rely on Amazon for the skincare. I would rely on TikTok for the skincare, right? I would also rely for healthcare, but when it comes to certain kinds of categories and products, there's a stage at which you need to go to every platform, and sometimes not every platform is the right platform for you. So there would be a certain kind of products that I would outright say no to for going to, for example, TikTok.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not the time in your growth phase to go to a new platform. So I would rather build out one single platform. And once that is a little more stabilized and you're not spending too much, it's best to kind of go to another platform. And because I don't like to keep all my eggs in the same basket, I would rather kind of have all my clients into different marketplaces because things change on every market, right? Sometimes you're benefiting from a certain kind of market, but testing at the same time will make you lose more money and also lose hope end of the day because you're spending more than you're making. So might as well establish one market, stabilize it, and then move on to the next.
Yeah, that makes sense. Himanshi, can tell me a little bit about your business. So it's you. You have you have a team. How big is the team, and what kind of what are some of your visions for the future? What do you want to accomplish with Growth Gurus?
So I have a very small team right now. It's including me, it's about 8 people.
Hmm.
And the reason why I'll take a step back and tell you why I wanted to start my own company and then what my vision sort of is for the company. I've been in the Amazon space for about 13 years, and I have been in the agency space for about 8 years. So I have worked with different agencies, seen how it works in a larger setup. And the reason why I felt the need to start something of my own was because I was the grievances point of contact for the clients in my previous agency. So I saw a lot of their grievances were never addressed, right? They had issues regarding things that were falling through cracks. They were not making the progress they were expecting because when a client works towards an agency and hands them over their account, it's I think it's a very, very big responsibility because they're trusting you with their growth, with you bringing in the revenue that they have. desire or bringing in the expertise that they didn't have before. So I don't think a lot of justice was being done to that. And that did not align well with my own vision of what I wanted to sort of achieve. Like I strive on success for people that I work with, right? If I'm not able to utilize my knowledge to the best, I mean, who is it doing justice to, right? What is the point of being in the space and not being able to help? So I wanted to design something that was a little more close knit. Everybody knew what was happening, and every client that I work with, I was in the trenches with them. So that's the vision that we started with. Um, that everybody in my company has a very distinctive role. There's no two people doing the same thing, right? So every person has their own importance of what they contribute towards the company. And I feel I like to give them power to feel that the company belongs to me as much as it belongs to you. You're answerable as much as I am answerable to all of us, right? End of the day. And I try to be a part of all my client strategy meetings. And in fact, I tried the strategy for most of them because, that's what they are trusting you with, right? And the few things that make the biggest difference in the agency world is having low churn, right? So you don't have to constantly invest into marketing to, keep getting new clients because you just have like a 10-15% churn rate. So you're losing so many customers that you keep getting more, right? I don't want to lose customers because if I'm not doing a good job, that's the only reason why a customer would leave. If you're doing great, they don't have a reason to leave you
Yes.
unless they don't have money to run a business or even, become be on this side of the world. So I think the only reason they would leave you is if they are not um, trusting you with what you're able to, or if you're not capable of achieving the results that they desired. And I've been very fortunate that in the last, I think, 2.5 years that I've been running my business, I've not lost a single client because of that issue. So
Yeah.
performance has never been a concern. And I don't have to constantly invest into marketing to keep getting new clients. It's a very small portion that big agencies rely on for referrals or the just word of mouth that you find this agency and you start working with it. I don't invest a lot on my marketing because I see um the work that you do, your skills, your expertise have go far longer than any marketing or any advertising. And I've seen that happen well for me so far. Maybe in future when I have to really expand aggressively, I might dive deeper into it. But my future plan is only build something sustainable. Slow growth is still growth. And I'm happy with the pace that I'm growing with and with the pace that I'm able to help my existing clients grow as well. So that's what gives me the peace to sleep well at night. And I think that matters more than, just aggressively growing an agency that's going to eventually fall through cracks. So this is a time for us, like we're doing well in general, but then I'm now focusing on just making robust processes internally. So, even if I am not available in my business for a day, it doesn't fall apart. Right. So I want everything to run smoothly and on autopilot if possible. But I think I am still happy with the slow and steady.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much. This is kind of like something that a lot of agencies struggle with and have to spend quite a bit of time on, right? Is how do
Yeah,
we deliver?
absolutely.
How do we do what we do consistently without stress? And so those processes make a big difference. Like it's a little bit, it's still the case for um, software companies, but it hits later.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it can be quite a bit bigger before you have to get more formal. But in an agency where it's a service, it's a lot of moving parts. This the need for process kicks in pretty early.
Exactly. Exactly.
So how do classically, there's always this tension between the urgent and the important. Like the urgent in your case is going to be doing the work for clients. And then there's this important work like, yeah, but how do we make it? How do we work on the business? How do we make the processes what they need to be? What is your personal strategy for balancing both types of work?
So it really depends, honestly. I feel client to client and what stage of business they're at, right? Some of these, even the established brands, do not have set processes in place to expand to the next level,
Well,
right?
sorry, let me just sorry to interrupt. So just to clarify, so what I'm asking about is your work to deliver services, but also your internal work, for example, to
Um,
improve your processes. That's not client
mhm.
facing at all.
Okay.
It's kind of
Okay.
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to take any time, a lot of times, to work on your own business. So
Okay.
how do
Okay.
how
I
do you
get that.
find time? What is your strategy for that?
I think because like I said, slow and steady is the way to go for me. So we have a threshold of how many new customers we need every single month, right? So we will not, like, I will not say yes to somebody who's like, I need you right now. But if my process does not allow me to get you in right now, I will not,
Mhm.
right? So I'm very strict with that. If my system is not built to handle an extra client, I will not bring them into the mix and only cause confusion for my internal team as well as obviously the client side. So the way that I try to function is that obviously that's how we started with. We set up a system that was good for the up to 10 clients. So when you get your 11th, you start working on how it's going to look like when you have 20 clients. Then you when you get to 21st, you start working on what process changes do I need to make sure that my first 50 clients do not have to face this situation. So I think it's a step-by-step learning process. It's not like you can build everything with client one and you know that you're set until you get like
Yeah.
500, right? You have to keep learning from your mistakes. And I try to give enough time to every flaw that the team has, everything that we have kind of flagged or have kind of slacked in, and we try to kind of make sure that the things that are taking up a lot of our manual time are first converted into better systems,
Yeah.
right? And
What
when that is out of the mix.
out of curiosity, MSC, like what's one process change that turned out to be particularly wonderful for the team? Like, wow, we should have done that a long time ago. That was much better. What is there anything come to mind when I ask that?
I wouldn't say I think honestly, like I felt that, being coming from a bigger agency, I felt the need to give more than usual to the internal operations or, just the client facing side. So when you're not talking to your clients too much, that's how bigger agencies function. You have to give them a lot of data proofs of what you're doing, right? So
Right.
there's weekly emails, there's just weekly dashboards that are sent out to clients just for them to kind of understand what is being done on their account. When I moved to this setup, I realized, I mean, it's not really required. You don't really have to overshare with your client because if you're be able to meet with them, if you're able to talk to them, explain to them, and they're trusting what they see in terms of the basic metrics, you don't really have to overshare. So we actually it worked the other way around for us that we could have done without it, right? So
Mm.
we got a few softwares that could share all of that automated information, just daily logs, weekly logs, and would share just so much with the client. And then 2 months later, I spoke to a few of my clients and just to kind of get their feedback and if they were happy with the information they were getting. And they're like, we're talking to you every single week. Like, we don't feel the need to open up emails and also go through the same information.
Stop sending
We
me so
just
many
talk to you.
updates.
Yeah. So it wasn't really doing us enough good at that time. And yes, it was less manual effort for us, but then it wasn't solving a problem for our clients as much. So we were like, you know what? Why not not do it? Like we just keep this system for ourselves internally so that we can see this data and be able to have more productive calls with the clients instead of having to share this information. So we just shifted that process to just be internal. So we have access to extra information to make our internal decisions and just weekly changes on the strategies. But when it comes to client side, we didn't really have to share all of that with them.
It's a good example. It's a good case, right? Basically, what you're saying is the process that helped. One process that helped free up a lot of time was just to stop doing something that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And there are these times, right, where we realize, well, this thing because we're supposed to, or because other people have done it, or that's how it
Mm.
was done in the past. And to do that gut check um, with the people you're trying to serve, and be willing to consider not doing stuff. Even maybe it was a little scary to turn it off at first. I'm not sure, but it can be right for people to make a change that's different than the norm. That's cool. Very
Exactly.
simple.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not needed, I don't think you need it because um if your client says, and my client is everything to me, like I do what they want me to, but then I have to understand what they require from me. I have to understand, and every client is different, every person is different. So there's a different way for us to deal with every single client and what their different requirements are. Some of them do not even require bi-weekly reports. So oh, like, okay, we send you once a month. And they're like, yeah, just once a month is good. I don't want to know what's happening on my account daily. That's your job. So I
Yeah, well,
like
it probably
trust
depends on how
between.
well things are going. When things are going well,
Exactly. Yeah,
then
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where the performance and the swallow structure comes in, right? Because you're so hands-on with, and every person in my team, all 8 of us, we're so hands-on with every single account that if my client was to call any one of us, they would know exactly what to tell them.
mm,
So we know everything that's happening on every single account every single day. So I think that kind of builds that trust over time. Obviously, they don't have that in the initial phase. So the first 3 months of being with any client, we try to kind of stay on our toes. We do more calls than required. There's a lot of queries, there's a lot of back and forth questions that they have. So we try to answer everything. We stay more available for them. After 3 months, they're all easy. They
yeah,
understand
yeah.
how the process works.
Well, Himanshi, that's very interesting. I haven't had a chance to talk to somebody. Actually, I haven't had a lot of chance to talk to people who are doing, you know, service marketing work for e-commerce companies, but it's kind of fun to get a a behind the scenes view of what's happening at Amazon and how these things work, and kind of it does. I'm glad to hear that you've picked a specialty because it's very clear. You look at growth gurus, you're like, oh, I know exactly what they do, and that's golden, right? Instead of a kind of like we do everything. No, well, there's a very specific thing. So I like what you're up to, and I appreciate you coming on the show and talking to me about what you're up to. And I hope the rest of the day goes really well. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having chat with you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Founders, if you're struggling to manage goals and execution with your team, HabitStack can help with that. I'm Scott Ward. Thank you for joining me on the HabitStack podcast.